Hello! Last time I showed you a review of Drk Plate A, and during that I talked about the size of the images on this plate and how big they are, and I said that when I got my extra large stamper I would show you how the extra large stamper works with this plate. You can see that this stamper is close to the full size of this image, so you can get almost that full size. Okay, so the first thing about this is a number of people have been having some problems using the big stampers when they come, because what happens is they try to stamp and then when they pull up after a few times, this will pop out and stay behind. You know, it's not the end of the world. You can just clean it off and try again, but it turns out there is a way that you can keep that from happening. If you look on here, there are these little indentations on the side, and those correspond to, and I'm not sure if this will show up on camera, let me see if I can get this at the right angle here for you, but right inside here there are some little ridges, and the trick is you want to get the little indentation on here to match up with the little ridges. So you're gonna line that up, and then you'll be able to push that in so that it goes actually a little bit farther down, and you'll see now it's only a little bit above the end of the stamper, and now when you stamp, that sucker's not coming out of there no matter what you do. So the thing about that though is, because now there's very little distance between the stamper and the side of the stamper, when you go to clean it, sometimes you'll get a little bit of the polish will start to build up here, and all you have to do then is just pop that white the white part right back out and clean it up, stick it right on back in, lining up those ridges, and it should be fine. Okay, so I'm gonna stamp a couple of images here. So first of all, I want you to see how much of the image it picks up. In case you're wondering, this is Sinful Colors Dancing Nails. You're just going to stamp down like you would with any other stamper, and you can see as it kind of left the circle behind how much of that image it covered. It picked almost the whole thing up. I mean, there's like a tiny bit on the edge that it didn't pick up. And then you can do it a couple ways. You can roll it on just like you would with any other stamper, and you can see how much of that image is left over from me stamping my finger, and my finger is completely fully stamped. Some people have talked about how squishy this stamper is compared to like the regular Konad stampers. They're very squishy. They kind of go in a lot if you look at them. In terms of rolling, it might take a couple times playing with it just to get used to it, but I think it's actually better when it comes to other things. For example, I recently did a manicure using these skulls here, and what I've found is this is ideal, this stamper, for allowing you to position exactly where you want to position, and if you want to isolate just maybe one part of the image, let's say I want to make sure that I get this little skull right here, right in the center of my nail. What I can do with this, I find it works so much better than with the other stamper, is I can put my nail right over it and press down, and because it is so squishy, see if you can see that there, because it is so squishy, it will get all sides of my nail at the same time. I don't have to roll it or anything, because it just has so much give. So then when I pick it back up, I've got my pretty little skull right where I want it, and all of the other design is right around it. Not smudged, not distorted, not anything. When I try to do that with the regular Konad stamper, because it's so hard, I end up kind of getting some pull, and the image never quite comes out right on the side. But with this, I don't have any problem doing it at all. So I'm actually going to be using this on my other plates that are smaller too, when I want to make sure that I get something centered just exactly the way I want it. But here again, you can see how I've used it a couple times now. You can see how this is getting a little bit more down as I'm working with it. You can still use it, you can go on forever, but if it's getting harder to clean, and just pop it right back out and clean that on up, and then just line it back up again, pop it back in, and you're good to go. Alright, I hope this was helpful for those of you who haven't worked with an extra large stamper before. I think it's really worth it, and especially if you want to use these bigger nail images. Any questions? Feel free to leave them for me, and I will do the best I can to answer them. And if you want to see any other images, I'll do that too. Thank you. Bye.